Welcome back students to Gyan Mantra Vidyapeeth online education. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss the first lesson in our supplementary book Snapshot. The name of this lesson is The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse and the author of this lesson is William Serra. Okay students, before the beginning of the new portion of this lesson, let's discuss and have a glance upon the portion that we discussed earlier in the last video lecture. Students, in last video lecture we discussed about the summary of this lesson and the beginning portion of this lesson. There are two cousins, Aram and Morad. These two cousins are very well known and the family also is very well known for the quality of honesty. This virtue they had. And this both the people, Aram and Morad, this both the people have this passion of riding the horse. Once in a morning when he was sleeping, then the another cousin came. When Aram was sleeping, then Morad entered the house with the help of window, and he showed the beautiful white horse to Aram. Aram could not believe for a moment that what is actually reality. He thought that whether he is sleeping right now or not, because he was aware about this thing that they cannot afford this horse, and it was so beautiful white horse, and that's why he could not believe that actually it happened. But when he opened the eyes, he actually observed the lightness outside the windows. He could realize that he was not seeing any kind of dream. It was not the dream, but it is the reality. He was actually having the white horse, in fact the beautiful white horse, and that's why he became surprised. Now the turning point of this story arrives. He is surprised, students, but he is not only surprised, he is afraid also, because he knows that if Morad cannot purchase this horse, then how could they get this beautiful white horse? This is the mystery and this is the suspense of this story. So students, suppose it is asked about the introduction portion, you have to write down up to this portion. Okay, Morad entered, Aram was sleeping, and Morad woke him up and he told him about the beautiful white horse. Aram thought that whether it was a dream, but he could realize that it was not the dream, it was a reality. And now there is question mark that how could they get this beautiful white horse, because they were very poor. Okay, now let's proceed further to this lesson. Students, you may keep your textbook also with you, and here also it is the same thing. Consequently, even though I could see the horse so magnificent, even though I could smell it so lovely, even though I could hear it breathing so exciting, I couldn't believe the horse had anything to do with my cousin Morad, or with me, or with any of the other members of our family, asleep or awake, because I knew my cousin Morad couldn't have bought the horse. Now Adam observed the horse. He found it and he could see that it is loving. It is amazing, extraordinary horse. It is not ordinary, it is not normal, something different, something unique. The smell, the breathing, it is so amazing, extraordinary. And here, after observing all these things, then also he could not believe that this magnificent, this lovely horse can be of there, because he was aware about the poverty. They were poor people, and that's why he knows that they cannot afford this beautiful white horse. Even no member of their family can afford this horse. Then it is question mark that how can we get this horse? what is the reason and what is the history behind this. And if he could not have bought it, he must have stolen it. And I refuse to believe he had stolen it. Actually, once in a mind, he could get it. That suppose they didn't purchase this horse, Mora did not purchase this horse, it means this horse must be stolen. But the mind opposed to believe this. You know, students, why? Because suppose the mind agrees, then he cannot ride over the horse. The feeling of guilty can be there, and that's why here mind wins and heart loses, and that's why he doesn't make any kind of argument and he refuses to believe that it was stolen. He had stolen the horse. Let's see what happens. No member of the Geroglanian family could be a thief. It was belief and it was true also. Nobody can believe that from this family, here it is said, Geroglian family, okay, their family, no one can believe that even a single person can be thief. Even from society also, no one can believe that a person from that family can steal something. And that's why also here Aram denied, refused to believe this, because he had that confidence and rather trust over his brother, his cousin, that the horse cannot be stolen. I stared first at my cousin and then at the horse. Stare means to look. There is also a difference between to look and stare. Stare means to see constantly at someone, at something. I stared with doubt, we can say, first at my cousin. It means Adam stared first, Mora, and then the horse. There was a pious stillness, calmness, and humor in each of them, which on the one hand delighted me and on the other frightened me. Because on the one hand, he was very happy, very delighted, and on the other hand, he was frightened. He was scared, fearful, and that's why it was a kind of contrast between the feelings. Students, new words we can find here. Consequently means as a result, and pios means religious. Next we can find from the passage from the textbook, Morad. I said, where did you steal this horse? Leap off the window, he said. Now Morad makes the question, asks the questions. Where did you steal this horse? Directly blames. From where actually did steal this? Leap out of the window, he said, if you want to ride. Here, he's not ready to make any kind of communication. And that's why he says, suppose you want to ride it, you can. It was true then. He had stolen the horse. Now, Adam could get it that actually the horse is stolen. There was no question about it. He had come to invite me to ride or not, as I chose. Mora first he stole the horse, and then he came to Aram. Aram thought that here he came to invite me for the riding, because Morad was aware that Aram also had that passion of riding the horse. Now the choice is his, that whether he wants to ride or not. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. Now he thinks that suppose he rides a horse, it is not that much like stealing something money or something else. He just wants to ride the horse. He makes argument with the mind. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't steal at all. He thinks that it is not stealing, I'm just riding the horse. He makes the argument with the mind. if it wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse, which of course I knew we would never do. He thinks that it is not the kind of stealing for me. Suppose we are going to steal the horse, suppose we are going to even sell the horse, then only it can be the kind of steal for me. So right now we are not going to do anything, even we will never do this selling of this horse, so it is not the stealing for me. Aaron thinks this. Let me put on some clothes, I said. Alright, he said, but hurry. Morad said that, okay, quick, fast, not slowly. I leapt into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Morad. Now the finally riding begins. The riding starts. I jumped down to the yard. From yard, he jumped down from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Morad. It means right now Morad is riding. He is the chief person, main person, and behind him there is Aaron. New word we can find here. Leap out means jump out from a place. He jumped out from the window. That year we lived at the edge of town. It means a border side. Here edge means border. Edge of town on Walnut Avenue. This is the place where they were living that year. Behind our house was the country. Vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches and country roads. In less than 3 minutes we were on Olive Avenue, and then the horse began to trot. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Morad, who was considered one of the craziest members of our family, began to sing. He began to roar. Now finally they begin the riding. They were living on the edge of the city, of the town. It means the border side of town, and that's why it was so easy to leave the town. So it didn't take too much time to leave the town, and that's why they were far away from the town area so that no one can easily get them and catch them riding. So now the cousin Morad sings. Rather, in the other words, we can say he roars. That is the feeling of pleasure. This both the people are very happy, and Morad begins to sing something. Every family has a crazy. Actually, he was considered as the craziest member in the family, and that's why he began roaring in the pleasure mood. A crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Morad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our uncle Khusro, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley too, a man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from taking by roaring. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. Actually, here it is said about the crazy member of the family. It is said that in every family, in all the families, we can find one crazy member. So is here Morad. Adam thinks, he says here that Morad is the craziest member in our family. Before him was our uncle Khosrow. It means here he is not the only craziest person, but before him also there is someone. Who is that fellow? Who is that man? Yes, Uncle Khosrow. An enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley too. Here you can underline also the appearance of Uncle Khosrow. Okay, this appearance, a man so furious in temper, short temper, can become angry also very easily, so irritable, so impatient, having no patience, and irritating also, that he stopped anyone from taking by roaring. It is no harm. Pay no attention to it. That he roars only, not doing anything else. So no need to be worried. Actually, that Uncle Khosrow is the kind of fellow is habituated to roar about any kind of thing, and that's why he is very irritating fellow and annoying person. Students, here we can find some new words from this passage. The first one is vineyard. It means plantation, grapevines used in wine making. Okay, it was related the area. The next word is orchards. It means a piece of land of the plantation of fruits. That is the small portion of a land. That is orchards here. Irrigation ditches means man-made channel used to deliver water to homes, industries and other uses. That is called irrigation of ditches. Next we can find trot. It means proceed with something. Next, descended. It means a system that develops from an earlier simple version. It means the kind of changes in old system and new form we can find, that is here descended. Streak, it means race, and enormous means huge. The last one is San Joaquin Valley, that is one of the long interior valleys of California. Okay students, so here we are going to end up today's portion. Suppose you find any kind of difficulty, any query, you are free to ask me anytime, but learn in the best way. Okay, you have to work regularly, you have to do your homework regularly, you have to attempt the test regularly. Okay, do your best, please try your best. We are always with you to support you. Thank you. Have a nice day.